Hello, I'm Martin Yelverton here with another guided yoga sequence today. Very slow start. We're going to begin with a breathing exercise, going to do some eye yoga, bit of gentle vinyasa work, a few interesting stretches, and we'll come up for a balance before we slowly come back down to finish off again. So for the first part, you can do it seated upright if you wish, but you're more than welcome. It works very well to do it lying on your back with your feet on the floor and your knees up towards the ceiling in constructive rest position. I'm going to instruct from a seated position, but if you want to start off lying down, it works really well what we're going to do. We're going to start off with simple two-part breathing with a ratio inhaling for roughly 4 seconds, exhaling for roughly 6 seconds. I'm going to count a few rounds and then leave you to breathe by yourself. We're not going to do this for too long, just a minute or two. So to start off with, take a big inhale, take a big exhale, clear it all out. And let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Carry on just like this by yourself now. Another couple of rounds. When you complete your next exhale, let your breath return to a relaxed, natural pattern. Moving onto a bit of eye yoga. This is moving the eyes around in different ways. Do this lying down if you wish. I would suggest if you're lying down, even if you're sitting up, having your hands behind your head for a little while with your elbows out to the side. Don't have to do that, but it just helps to keep the head still as we do the eye exercises. So have the rough idea that your face is kind of a rectangular shape, squarish rectangular shape. So there's 4 corners, top of your head one side, top of your head other side, bottom of the face one side, bottom of the face other side, top, bottom sides. So for the first movement, we're simply going to, keeping the head still, so we try not to move the head too much doing this. Roll your eyes upwards, like you're trying to look above your forehead, and then roll your eyes downwards, like you're trying to look down beneath your chin. Doesn't matter whether you're sitting or on your back. Keeping the head still, moving your eyes up and down. Really take it slowly and let your eyes move to the full range up and to the full range down. Really slow though. Take a few blinks. Reset your eyes so they're centered. And now we're going to move the eyes from one side to the other. So look to one side with both eyes, and then look to the other side with both eyes. Again, slowly and to the full range, as far as you can take the eyes to look to one side, as far as you can take the eyes to look to the other side. Slow. Take a few gentle blinks, reset your eyes again. We're going to go on the diagonals now. So with both eyes, look up towards the top left corner of your head, corner as it were, up to the top left, and then down to the bottom right, like you're trying to look down below you and to the right. And move your eyes up and down that diagonal, up to the top left, down to the bottom right. Both eyes slowly, full range. Take a few blinks again, and then do the other diagonal. So looking up with both eyes to the top right, and then down to the bottom left. Slowly moving along that diagonal, full range. Trying your best to keep your head still, which might be easy if you're lying down with your hands behind your head. If you're sitting upright, you probably notice that there's a natural inclination to move the head a bit, which is fine. We're trying to keep the movement in the eyes as best as possible. A few more gentle blinks, center your eyes. Now we're going to rotate the eyes all the way around the orbits. So make circles with your eyes going in one direction for a while. It might not be pure circles, but you know what I mean. Just rotate your eyes in one direction for a few times. You'll be looking up, you'll be looking to those corners, you'll be looking to the sides, you'll be looking down to the other bottom corner, off to the side again, other top corner. So all the positions that we've covered, we're going to be touching in with them as we do these circular movements with the eyes. Rotate them in the other direction now. Good, take a few blinks. If you are not already lying down, I invite you to do so. You're going to come down to a lying position on your back. Let's take constructive rest. So this is feet on the floor, knees up. And gently roll your head from one side to the other. And then center your head again. We're going to do some gentle movements with breath, some gentle vinyasa. So we're going to make one movement inhaling, another movement exhaling. Linger in the pauses between the phases of the breath if you want. So after an inhale, wait for a few moments before the exhale arrives. And after the exhale, wait for a few moments before the inhale arrives. No need to snatch at the breath. So to start off with, arms are down by your hips. As you inhale, you take them back. As you exhale, you bring them forward. Really slow the breath down, thereby slowing the movement down too. Really lengthen the breath. And the next time you find your arms back by your sides again, leave them there, but there's no need to rush if you've just begun going back. Similar thing with the legs now. We're going to do the legs one by one. So lengthen one leg out in front of you. Have the other one, foot on the floor, knee up. Same thing. Inhaling the leg up. Exhaling it down. Slow and controlled. You can maybe play with the flexion of the ankle. So perhaps as you're inhaling the leg up, pulling the top of the foot towards your shin, and as you exhale the leg down, pointing the toes out in front. When that leg is down on the ground again, lengthen the other leg out beside it and just pause there for a few moments. And we're about to do the same thing with the other leg, so switch those out. The leg you've just been working with is now foot on the floor. Other leg is the one we're going to be raising and lowering with breath. Inhaling it up, nice and slow. Exhaling it down. Next time your leg comes back to the ground, let's leave it there. Lengthen the other one out beside it. Let both legs relax completely. Let the feet drop out to the sides. Maybe rotate the legs in and out a little bit. But then just pause, be still for a few moments. Side-lying spine rotations now, also with breath. So lie down on one side of your body. Bend your knees up towards your body. Bottom arm is out on the ground in front of you. Top arm, top hand on top of the other hand. Trying to keep the legs down. So as you rotate, trying to keep your bent legs down as close to the ground as you can. As you inhale, open that arm up and the chest up and rotate towards the back. As you exhale, come back to the front. Again, very slow. Also, use your eyes to track the movement of that top hand. The whole time, keep looking at the hand that's moving. It doesn't matter if that arm doesn't come down to the ground behind you at all. So trying to keep those legs down in front of you. If you start thinking it's crucial to get that arm back on the ground behind you, it may be that you have to pull the legs up with you, but try to keep them down. Next time you complete the movement and the hands are back together again, do exactly the same thing on the other side of your body. Take your time to change around to the other side of your body and do the same thing 4 or 5 times. Moving with breath, tracking that top hand with your eyes. Next time you finish the cycle and the hands are together again, let's end it there. And then find your way onto your back and just lie still for a few moments. If your legs are not extended out in front of you, do that with them. Bring the feet together-ish. Take the arms behind you, take an inhale, and as you exhale, take a sit up. Try and keep the legs down, a bit of a stretch forward, and then come up. We're going to do some earth salutations now. So it's a small vinyasa sequence, trying to move with the breath. I will call the breath for one round of them and then leave you to try and apply that to the movements by yourself, but always with breathing. If you're having to think too hard about what might or might not be the right place to inhale or exhale, just forget about it and breathe naturally. So we're starting off in this thunderbolt position, this kneeling position, sitting on your feet. Sit nice and tall through the spine to start off with. And Let's go. Inhaling, bring the arms up, reach. Exhaling, fold forward, reach as far forward as you can as you bring your head towards the floor. It doesn't have to land on the floor. Inhaling up onto your hands and knees, lifting your head and chest up, lifting your tail up. Exhaling into a downward facing dog. Inhaling, hands and knees, head up, chest up, tail up. Exhaling back to this half tortoise position, sort of bum towards feet, arms far out in front. Inhaling to stand on your knees, take a supported camel, back bend, support your pelvis. Exhaling back to the starting position. And we'll flow like this 4 more times. So all the way up and all the way down. Cow pose, hands and knees, head up, tail up. Downward facing dog. Cow pose again, head up, tail up. Back down to your half tortoise. Support your camel, stand on your knees. Come back down. Reach. And fold. Hands and knees, head up, tail up. Downward facing dog. Hands and knees again. Half tortoise. Coming up into supported camel. And back down. Reach. And fold. Hands and knees, head up, tail up for cow. Downward facing dog. Cow posture. Half tortoise. Supported camel. And down. Last round, all the way up. And down. Hands and knees, head up, tail up. Downward facing dog. One more cow on hands and knees. Half tortoise. Supported camel. And come back down. Take a few moments to sit still. Sit however you're most comfortable. If you've had enough of this thunderbolt, sit down however you want to sit. Let's move into a butterfly. So, bringing your feet together in front of you, pulling them in towards your body as close as is comfortable for you. You can either hold the ankles with your hands, if you can keep a a nice straight, or remember, a straight spine is never ruler straight. It's got curves because it's a human thing. So you can either hold the ankles if you can sit tall like that. Also really nice to have your hands on the floor behind you. Tilt a little bit at the hip, but still keeping a tall spine, and then butterfly. Flutter the legs gently up and down. Notice notice what your mind's doing. If you're wandering away with thoughts, nothing wrong with that, it's natural. But coming back, bringing your attention to something relates to what you're doing. Perhaps one element of this movement, perhaps your breath. Just noticing when your mind wanders and coming back to center yourself again. Practicing presence over and over and over. Key feature of that is noticing when you've gone down the rabbit hole with your thoughts. Extend your legs out in front of you for a few moments. Give them a roll from side to side. Give them a wiggle, anything that feels good. Let's take seated head to knee. So one leg out in front of you, foot of the other leg coming in towards the inner thigh. This front leg can be bent if you need to bend it when you're in the posture. So you're rotating towards the front leg, reaching out towards the foot. If you can get the foot, fine. The hand doesn't get on the foot. If it doesn't have to go there. And then move into a forward fold over that leg. Bring yourself up with control. Slowly rearrange yourself to do the same thing with the other leg off to the side. Just move your way into the posture as you're ready. If your leg wants you to bend it, do bend it. Don't force yourself to straighten your leg if it doesn't feel good like that, hey? And let's come up. Lengthen out both legs for a while. Have a little wriggle if that feels useful. Going to take a seated wide angle now. So let's do this one with an extended spine. So we're not going to turn it into a forward fold. Let's have it as a spine extension. So take a nice wide position with the legs. In fact, try this. Start with the legs bent. Nice wide position with the legs. Start with them bent. Take your arms on the insides of the legs. With your first two fingers on each hand, hook the big toes. Sit tall through the spine, and then start straightening the legs out. They might go all the way down, they might not, but find the place where you can feel what's working in the body and what's not working. Sit tall through the spine. Feet stay pointed upwards. Keep the fingers hooked to the toes. So that might mean you need to allow yourself to bend the knees a lot. Release. Let's make a big diamond fold now. So feet together in front of you, just like we did just now for that bound angle with the butterfly, but feet are much further away, big diamond shape with your legs. And then just round forward with your spine and relax. Fine to let the head release. We're not going to be here long. Just relax here as best you can. Soften into this position. And then bring yourself out. Next, we're going to be doing there's postures, but they're kind of, there's movement, sort of basically they're not, I'm loath to call them sequences because they're not quite sequences, basically two movements in each of what we're going to do. So it's kind of like a moving posture. Think of it through moving postures. Yeah, it's not the best description. You'll see what we're doing. We're going to do we're going to do 3 sets of each of these things that we're going to do. And we're going to do 5 of each. You'll see as we get going. So for the first one, camel reaches. So we're going to be wanting to stand on our knees because we're going to be doing a camel posture type of thing here. Toes on the floor. Sit down towards the heels. I'm going to just talk us through the first one, then we'll just get going. So grab the back of the heel with one hand. So rinse and even grab the back of the heel with one hand. Start coming up, start pushing your pelvis forward, moving into a back bend, keeping the hips pushing forward, reach the other arm up behind you. You can either look down over the shoulder of the hand that's grabbing the foot, or if you want, you can open out more fully towards the ceiling for a bigger back bend, and then come back down again. Take the other heel with the other hand, same thing, hips push forward. Keep pushing forward with the hips as you move into your back bend. Reach the other arm up and behind you. And keep going. 4 more now on each side in your own time. I'm going to stop talking. Just feel your way into this movement. So we're kind of moving along, not rushing. If you like this set of movements, you can slow this one right down. But for the purposes of this session here today, we're just moving steadily, not rushing, steady movement. Once you've completed 5, bring yourself down to lie on your back on the ground and relax. Just let everything go. Bring your feet together-ish. Reach your arms behind you. Take a sit up. All the way up. A bit of a stretch forward. Next one. Half monkey moons. So, again, I'll go through the first one quite slowly so you can see what we're doing. Starting off with a high lunge. Sorry, not a high lunge, a low lunge. One leg out in front of you. Back foot, if you can, you want the toes on the ground behind you. So just before you start doing anything, adjust to how wide a stance you want to have here. Stretching the hip flexors on the front of the back leg. So you're pushing into the posture, but also a bit of resistance in the front leg. You're not just pushing as far as you can. There's a bit of pushing back from that front leg. There's a back bend here as well. How you place the arms is completely up to you. I quite like low down arms, wide out, open the chest up as they take the back bend. Also, more usually in this posture, very often arms are reaching straight up. You can also make cactus arms. Whatever you fancy doing, does not matter, but take a bit of a back bend as you push into that position. And then we're coming back to a half monkey. So coming up, sitting back towards the heel of that back leg. Use your hands, and that front leg is straightening out to whatever degree feels useful. You can either keep your spine straight or you can round into it. And then 4 more times on that side. Find your way into this movement by yourself. Now 4 more times, just moving backwards and forwards like that. So when we come forward for the back bend and the low lunge, we're stretching those hip flexors. When we go back into the half monkey, we're getting something for the hamstrings and the calf of the front leg. Once you've done your 5 in total on that side, simply rearrange yourself to do it on the other side. Take your time. So get the initial position sussed before you start moving. Basically figuring out how wide, how far in front of you want that foot to be for it to feel useful. And as you're ready, 5 times on that side. When you've done your 5, once again, rest on your back. Simply be still for a short while. Once again, feet together-ish, long legs, reach behind. Inhale to prepare, exhale for a big sit-up. And a bit of a stretch for the spine. So for the last one of this little trio of movements, it's kind of like, it's almost like half wild thing. Let's call it a half wild. It doesn't really matter what you call these things, but let's call this half wild thing. So it's almost as if we were about to do another seated head to knee with the foot on the inner thigh of the one leg, but we're not going to do that. Foot might be down a little bit lower than if you were doing that posture. However, you've got one leg bent and that foot's in towards the inner thigh of the other leg. Back hand is going to be on the floor. So we're going to be doing a form of back bend and side plank combined. And this bent leg is going to be our supporting leg. So there's the movement. We're coming up onto that leg that's bent, opening up the chest towards the ceiling, taking the head back. Again, finding what you want out of this movement, and then coming down again. And doing 4 more now. So we want 5 in total. So whenever you're ready, get going. If you pay attention to what your body is telling you about this posture, you'll find what you need to do with it to suit yourself. So it's a bit of side bend, it's a bit of back bend, it's a bit of shoulder work as well. So blend those all together in whatever combination suits you best. When you've finished 5 on that side, we're going to do 5 on the other side. So take your time. If you need to give that shoulder a little roll, do that. And set yourself up to do the same thing 5 times on the other side. Whenever you're ready, take it away. Once again, once you've done your 5, return to lie on your back. And rest just for a few moments. Feet together-ish, arms behind you, take a sit up. We're preparing to come up and stand. If you want to stand straight up, do that, but this might be an opportunity to sneak in a crafty squat. So if you fancy a squat, grab one here and just sit for a few moments. But if you don't go for squats, up on your feet whenever you're ready to stand. And then let's do it. Let's come up to stand. I'm going to tweak my camera angle slightly. Okay. I'm going to take a little balancing posture now. We're going to repeat this posture twice, so we're going to be balancing in total 4 times. So we're going to repeat each side twice. The posture we're going to play with, have a look at, is called Shiva posture. It's standing on one leg with the other leg lifted up in front of you, bent at the knee, and a big, or as bigger as is useful for you, rotation towards the side. So let's begin. Bring one leg up, grab it with the opposite hand. So just putting the opposite hand on the outside of that thigh. So that leg's pulling inwards a bit. So start rotating to the outside of that leg. Reach the other arm out behind you. Take your gaze off to the side. maybe even towards the hand if you want a little bit of extra balancing challenge. Either keep that hand on the leg or open both arms out wide, pulling the shoulder blades together. And let's come down. So keep that twist in the body. It can help to have that hand on the leg to that, but you don't do it all. You don't want to do all about the pulling on the leg. You want to use waist power. So that's, if you release the arms, have both arms open, you're going to rely totally on waist power. But that position of holding the legs really nice, can be very supportive. So let's do the other side. Other leg comes up, hand on the outside of that thigh, twist to the side, take your head with you, reach out the other arm, behind you. Either keep that hand on the leg as you work that rotation, or else open out the other arm for pure waist power twist. So if you're opening out these arms really wide, think about the shoulder blades pulling together behind you. And come back to stand. Once more, each side in a moment. Rightio, let's go again. Returning to the first side you're working on. Leg up, grab it, rotate, reach with one arm or both. Come back to 2 feet on the ground. Let your breath settle for a few moments. One more time, other leg. Bring that other leg up. Rotate to the side, reach behind. Take your gaze wherever you're going to be taking your gaze today. Stay with the hand on the leg or use both arms, pulling the shoulder blades together. Let's come back. 2 feet on the ground. Okay, let's take a dancer posture. We'll only do this one once. It's just the first balance. We've got hip flexion for dance, so we want to have a bit of hip extension, so taking the leg behind. So this is the one where you grab the leg behind you. It doesn't matter whether you grab on the outside or the inside of your ankle. They will have different effects on your shoulder. Experiment with both at some point in your life, but today I'm just going to suggest grab the outside of your ankle. Stand tall. Reach with the other arm out in front, gently. Start kicking the back leg up towards the ceiling. And remember, there's a back bend here. So keep the chest up. Don't have to go anywhere extreme. Just take yourself to a place where you can stand and breathe for a short while. Let's come back. Do the other side. Whenever you're ready, grab the other ankle. Reach out in front. Start hinging forward while keeping the chest up and engaging the back muscles for a back bend as you kick up towards the ceiling with the back leg. And let's come up. Stand on 2 feet for a few moments. Coming back down to the ground very shortly, but let's go via wide leg forward fold, starting with the wide leg half forward fold, wide leg full forward fold. So nice wide stance. The legs hinge at the hips. Keep your chest up. No need to flex the spine. You want a spine extension here. So keep the chest up. Push back with your bum. Straight legs. Keep pushing back with your bum, almost like you're going to topple over, but don't quite topple over. Head either back a bit or neutral neck. Make some wings with your arms. Lift your wings as high as you can. Settle into the posture for a few more breaths. Very actively pushing back with your hips. And then shift into a forward fold. As you move into the forward fold component, you might want to bend the legs a lot if that works better for your body. And relax here just for a few breaths. Finding your way into a squat, if you like a squat, or else coming down simply to sit if you don't. We'll just finish this little portion with a squat if you're up for one. And then find yourself a comfortable seated position. We'll do a little bit of breath work now to finish this session. We're going to do Kapalabhati, shining skull breath. We'll do 3 rounds of this. We'll include a breath retention after each round. So I'm not going to give extremely detailed instructions for Kapalabhati. Maybe you've come across it before. This is the one where the emphasis is all on the exhale. So each time you exhale, you strongly engage your abdominals. You're just pumping the breath out with each exhale. You can do it with the mouth, you can do it with the nose, doesn't matter, up to you. We'll do this for about 30 seconds. Don't worry about the inhale, it takes care of itself. Just all about like that. We'll do this for 30 seconds or so. You'll hear when I've got to the end of that 30 seconds or so from my breathing. Take a big inhale and then hold the breath after you've taken that inhale. And quick word, if you don't like to hold your breath, don't hold it at all. Just simply breathe naturally again after that Kapalabhati. But if you're up for a bit of breath retention work, hold your breath for, we're going to do 3 retentions because we're doing 3 rounds. First retention, we'll hold for 20 seconds. Second retention, we'll hold for 30. Final retention, we'll hold for 45. And like I say, please don't hold your breath even for half a second if that is not something you want to do. Really, really important to pay attention to that. And as counterintuitive as it seems, when you're holding your breath, one of the best things I would suggest to you is relax as much as you can. Think, actively relax while you're holding your breath. Your body doesn't think there's anything to relax about it, so your body's worried when you're holding your breath. It thinks something's wrong, but you can counter that by relaxing, and you'll also probably surprise yourself by how much you can hold your breath when you relax into it. So, no more talking. Let's just do it now. Whenever you're ready, start with the breathing. Big inhale, relax, hold your breath. Release it. Return to normal breathing. Relax, natural breathing. If you find this style of breathing exercise alarming on any level, simply don't do it. Just breathe naturally, okay? So we'll do another round, followed by a 30-second retention. So whenever you're ready, let's get going. Big inhale, relax, hold. Release, release that. Return to natural breathing. Last round in just a moment. With a final breath retention of 45 seconds. If you are up for breath retention. Remember, the breathing can be mouth or nose, the first part when you're doing those strong exhales. Let's go again, another round, last round. Big inhale, relax, hold. Release, release, release. Lie down now. Lie down on your back in Shavasana. If you're comfortable with Shavasana as a posture, with your legs out, feet dropping off to the sides, arms by the side of your body. If you prefer constructive rest, lying on your back with your feet on the floor, knees up, do that. But just lie down now and rest for a little while. Simply let go of everything. Turn awareness on itself. So be aware of awareness. Everything else, sounds, sensations in your body, thoughts, these are all things that appear before awareness or in awareness. These are the contents of awareness. So we're trying to shift the awareness on itself rather than the contents of awareness. You can't stop all of that stuff. It's going to happen. Allow it to happen. Don't try and control anything. Just relax. Let everything unfold, but simply try and receive as pure awareness. And the best way to do this is to relax. Just relax. Nothing to do except relax. If the circumstances of your life allow you to keep resting for a lot longer, 5, 10, maybe more minutes, if you have the time and the freedom in your life right now, I would strongly encourage you to stay there and rest for a bit longer. Otherwise, I'm going to end the session now. If you've made it thus far, thank you very much for practicing with me. If you're interested in knowing any more about what I do, which includes a live yoga class on Zoom every Thursday morning and a live Pilates class on Zoom every Saturday morning, you can find details via my website, which will be somewhere around wherever I post this video. But take care and maybe catch up somewhere down the path. Bye.